This is at the circus.
This is our game at the circus. So basically, right here we have our main board. There are some player pieces here. Here's a dice for the movement of the players. Yeah, that is our magic character. So basically, what you see here is a bunch of movement tiles, some mini games, and some event placements. So basically, there are decks. The first one is the game ticket deck. That is what you will need to be able to actually play the game. So for this instance, this is the game Hook, Line, and Sinker, which is located on the board here. So a player will need to roll and move to this location and then spend one of the ticket cards or more, if they have them, to be able to play that game. So from there are also event cards, which if a player moves and lands on an event card, they get to draw it, and it'll have some kind of effect. In this one, specifically, it discards one event card in play. So I would be able to remove the -1 from my player, so I could move normally again. Over here are cotton candies. They are the points of this game. The player will want to collect a predetermined amount by the group in order to win. So this player would have 27 cotton candies, and these players would have their own individual amounts. This player would obviously be in the lead due to the 43 that he has. Over here are some more ticket cards for other games. There are 8 games in total. Here, this player has a positive effect card where it allows them to shoot twice as many shots in the saloon shootout game. This player over here has a positive effect on Toontown, which allows them to redirect a question or redirect an answer to a question to any of the players. So over here we have all of the mini games. There are 8 of them. So the first one we have here is Space Race. This game works by the players rolling the dice, and that is the movement for each of the matching colors. So the red would move 3, the yellow would move 2, and then the green would move 6. Now since these are the aliens, they would instantly catch up after moving the 6 spaces, and these pieces would be removed. Now what the player would want to do is keep rolling and getting all the spaceships to the end. They would get 5 points per each one. Over here we have Saloon Shootout, which comes with a rubber band gun and 6 cowboys. The player will have 3 shots to take out each of the cowboys. If they take out 1, they would get 2 cotton candies. If they take out a pair, they get 5 cotton candies. Over here we have the game Toontown. I'll draw a card for an example. So this says, name the player to the right's favorite Toon character. So, for example, I could say, Bobby likes SpongeBob the most, and he would tell me whether or not I'm correct. And if I am correct, then I would get 5 tickets per correct question. Over here we have Hair Houdini, which is kind of a rabbit of a hat game where you would draw, and that's how many tickets you would get. So in this instance, the player would get 1. In this, they would get 5. This is how many cotton candies they would get. Over here we have Hook, Line, and Sinker. This is a game where the player will have 1 minute to collect as many fish as possible by hooking them through their mouths. This game is a skill-based game that the player has to be gentle enough to get the fish off the board while also making sure the hook doesn't snap. Oh, there, it broke. Over here we have Hieroglyphics Decipher, and in this game the player would need to place down each of these cards face down and remember where they are, and then flip over one of these cards, and this would be the order they would need to place them. So they would need to move each of these while they're upside down, and then when the player believes they have correctly gotten it, they would flip over each one of these cards, and they would see how many they would get. For every correct one, they would get 2 cotton candies. So right here, the player would have gotten 1 correct, so they would get 2 cotton candies for that. And that looks like that's the total they would get for this board. Over here, we have Knight's Archery. The player would need to throw an arrow onto the board, and wherever it lands is how many cotton candies they would get. So you can choose to go for the highest amount in the center for 15, or try to go for the outer amount, which is 10. But if you go in the middle and you mess up and you land on one of these, you get a lower amount. So it's a punishment for not choosing a proper exact position. Over here we have Pirates Cove. This is a gambling game where the player will take a choice of up to 10 cotton candies and put them up as a bet. Then that player will draw from this deck and place them out, and depending on the combinations that they get, that would be the multiplier. So in this instance, if the player laid down 5 cotton candies, they would get 1 multiplier times 5, so they would get 5, and then since there's a second multiplier, they get an additional 5, coming out with 10 cotton candies. Those are all the games that we have and the main board. We hope you enjoyed our game, and this is at the Circus.